Hey, you fucks. Thanks for, checking out the videos, showing a little bit of support. How about you take it to the next level and show us some love over there on Patreon, huh? Huh? Huh?
Yo, 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 it's the good old boy Papa Teeks coming to you live from the ADVJapan channel. Hello, and good morning or evening or whatever to anybody who's watching this in the, whatever. I'm curious, actually, when do you guys watch my stuff usually? Like, for example, like this, I consider this kind of like a talking head style video. I've deemed these as talking head videos where it's like, it's not as, when I think of a podcast, I think of like Joe Rogan, like somebody's got a studio, they've got like expensive microphones that aren't plugged in through USB, and like they have like audio equipment like MIDI players and shit or whatever, like they edit the audio to sound more crisp in post. But like for this, it's just like, oh yeah, I didn't do any editing to the audio. I have a USB microphone that I bought 10 years ago. And I'm recording this, in the morning, like just by myself in front of my computer. And, anyway, I mean, like, I'm just saying this isn't the most professional setup, but, yeah, whenever I listen to I call them walking head videos, where it's just, like, some guy with a camera walking around, like, for example, Guelo 60 or, like, X Chapter or something on YouTube. Yeah, I listen to both of those guys, like, usually when I'm working out, which is usually, I do that right before lunchtime, so around, like, 10 or, like, 11 a.m. It depends. Like, today I woke up at 4 a.m., and I'll I'll get into that story after I shout out my shit. But, yeah, like, if it's, normally if I wake up at 6, then I'll have my lunch around 12, but I remember I gotta keep like the best thing for like sleep or whatever when you're older is like keeping that circadian rhythm, right? So I just gotta remember this what's I got to do's and the stuffs, yeah. So hot sex, yeah, but I gotta do it, I gotta try. Oh, I got to try. Um, but yeah, anyway, yeah. What time do you guys listen to my stuff? When you listen to it, like I know that there's some of you guys that come here for the premiere. There's usually like at least like 10 of you that are hanging out during the premiere. And like, is it nighttime where you guys are or whatever? Like, I remember when I used to drive, actually nah, like god, I haven't listened to anything while I've driven for a while. When I used to drive in Chiba back in the day, I would listen to God, what was it? Like, I used to listen to fucking... I would listen to, like, my iPod. That's how old... That's how long ago it was where I listened to stuff. When I first got a scooter in Tokyo... when I first started riding my scooter in Tokyo to go to work, I would just listen to audiobooks, or I would call my friends and use my microphone and just chat with them while I was driving. If I'm driving, I don't like listening to music or Well, I don't mind podcasts, but it's like I prefer to be talking or giving myself like an audio message or whatever, just because I feel like oppositely I'm more in tune. Like, people are like, don't talk, you're gonna be distracted, and I'm like, no. Like, oppositely, if I'm just listening to if I'm just listening to stuff, or if it's just silent, I get bored and like I kind of drift off a little bit, or the chances of me drifting off are higher. So if I'm talking, I'm constantly being vigilant while looking at stuff. So yeah, that's just me though, man. Like, it's just me. But anyway, it's to the 4-minute point, so let me just do self promo. A big shout out to everybody who goes over to patreon.com/TikyoSam. I just had somebody go over there and sign up for the Japanese lessons yesterday, and shit, God damn it, it's in my, I got the notification, I forgot the name though, but thank you, because, thank you whoever you was for that. Yeah, like, god damn it, I need to, what is it, I gotta shout out the Patreon more often on my regular channel. Like, the side channel, I always shout it out, but it's just, you know what I mean. I'm really happy that people still sign up for those lessons, though, man. Like, I put a lot of work into that shit, People don't understand, like, it's like, I'm basically saying the same shit that you could find out anywhere else for free. But it's like, if you think that I'm better, not better, but if you think I'm good at like explaining stuff to you so you understand, like I have a friend who is what do you even call him? He like he's a guy, his name's Grim. I don't know if he's watching this right now, but his job is like analyzing pictures from space or something, and he's always trying to talk to me about complex things. And well, just by talking to him, like I can have him break it down so it's easier for me to understand. And so like he'll bring up these really complicated concepts and stuff or whatever that he's working on or something, and then I'm like, okay, but what does that mean or whatever, or like, oh, so does that mean that? Like he was telling me like the difference between a nuclear bomb and like a dirty bomb, which I thought a dirty bomb would be like a pipe bomb or something, but it'd be, I mean I probably heard that a long time ago, but I didn't know the difference. And he's like, well, technically blah 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 blah, and I'm like, so it's like that town in because he plays video games, and I'm like, so it's like that town in New Vegas where it's all irradiated and everyone's ghouls, that's NCR. And he's like, yes, just like that. I was like, okay, good, as long as we could figure that out, that's good. But anyway, I'm just saying that, guys, like, if you appreciate the way that I talk, or like, you like my stories, like you like my anecdotes or whatever you want to call it, my Japanese lessons are exactly like that. So I try to explain it in a way that's not only like consumable and timely, but it's also in a way that just makes it easier for you guys to understand the concept. Because it's like AJAT, all Japanese all the time, it's not supposed to be one of those things like where it's just like a brief course at like a community college and then you're like, oh yeah, I know Japanese now. It's like, no, like this is supposed to be like a methodology or whatever you want to call it. It's like a religion, kind of like you have to really, you don't just read the Bible once, like you read it over and over again until it's like like inside your bones, embedded in your soul, kind of thing. And yeah, that's the whole point of this stuff, guys, is that it's just like, I try, because like my whole thing is like, if I wanted to grift, if I wanted to be a piece of shit and make more money, like some other people have done up until now, like I could totally do that. But it's like, I made that originally because people kept asking me how did I learn Japanese, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna make a fucking what you call it, I'm gonna just make like my own lessons, and then if people really care about it, and like they're too lazy to Google AJAT, then I'll just be like, yeah, I have my own lessons, go check that out. I mean, like, that's some of the best ways to get rid of people. It's just like, yeah, I have a thing and it costs money, and they're like, oh god, okay, and they just fucking leave. Yeah, like, if you ever have anybody who's like annoying but they want to help you out, all you gotta, like, I remember Sam Hyde like made a joke about how it's like, just tell them you want to borrow money. But like, if it's somebody who obviously doesn't have money that you couldn't ask for that stuff for, then all you gotta just say is like, oh yeah, like, just do this one thing and I'll help I'll help you out. Like I've had people in the past before say like, oh yeah, man, I heard you talking about that one thing online, and like in one of your videos, and I want to help you out, but like and I'm like a super like, I've done like I'm a professional graphics designer or something, blah 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 blah, and I really like to help you out. And I'm like, well, this is kind of, I want to work on these things first, or like, I have these things that I could really use your help on. Like, wow, yeah, but for the moment, let me see what you've got. Let me see if you can actually work through this stuff, and then like, let me give you the easy shit first, and then if you can follow through that easy stuff, then I will give you the harder thing later. And like, most of the time, these people do not follow through, man. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that it's like, you give somebody an easy task to see if they're really invested, and most of the time they're not. Like, it's like, again, I'm not complaining, but it's just like, these people, they just want to waste your time, They're like, oh my god, I want to hang out with you, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't actually care about what I'm saying. You just want to hang out. Like, I remember when I was with the Rocket Guys, people would be like that too. They would ask them questions, but they didn't really give a shit. And like, I remember when I would talk to them, like, I would genuinely want to know all this stuff, like, I'd ask questions about the movies and stuff, and they really appreciated that. It's like, I would remember this stuff, but also, like, I'd ask them questions that they hadn't heard before or whatever, like, oh wow, this is pretty original. But Anyway, I mean, the whole point is is that those Japanese lessons on my Patreon, it's not only Japanese lessons. Like, I offer tours. If you guys want to come to Japan and you're looking to have a fucking badass time, I've got a tour. I've got a tour option there. I've got consultations. So if you guys want to actually move to Japan, or you're currently working in Japan but you want to change up your career or whatever, I can help you out with that. I mean, there's tons of different options there, guys, for you. So just you know, click on that stuff and do the thing. And if not, that's fine too. But at least the option's there for you guys. And I really do appreciate you guys who go over and check it out. Even if it's $2. Like, I see people on Patreon who, like, have only, like, a $5 and then, like, a $25 or $50 option. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, I like you, but I don't like you that much. And so, like, I know that feeling. So I have specifically, like, a dollar option on Patreon. Like, Patreon takes, like, I think they take less than YouTube. YouTube takes 30% of everything. So if you guys give me, like, for example, you give me like $10 or whatever, YouTube takes YouTube takes $3 of that. And then you got to pay taxes, and then taxes are 30% of that. So if you paid me $10, I get like $3 after all of that shit. It's bullshit, but you know, Patreon, at least they take less of that money. The taxes are still the same, but you gotta, you know, at least I think they take 10% instead of 30%. But it's so fucked up because for years Apple did a thing where if you signed up for for somebody's Patreon through your phone, then they would charge 30% of that. And, like, how fucking bullshit is that, dude? So it's like, yeah, that's very important that if people sign up, well, the Patreon app sucks on like Apple and Google anyway. So it's actually, like, it's pretty good that it sucks because it incentivizes people to just go through the browser instead. But yeah, man, just yeah, you know, I appreciate everybody who comes and donates this stuff because, yeah, man, you know, like, it's one thing to watch a bunch of people's stuff, but if you barely comment or you're not part of the community, and then on top of that you're not donating, like, I appreciate it, but you get none of my attention, you know. And I know I'm not a big boy. I'm not a big boy on the internet. Like, I'm not Video Game Donkey or something. Like, I should be happy that people are watching my shit, etc., etc. I know. I'm just saying in general that it's like, if you guys ever wanted to befriend a YouTuber or get them to talk to you more, the best thing to do is spend money on them, or help them, you know? Like I've talked to, it's a Gundam, and he's got like 600,000 fucking followers or whatever, and he's a cool guy, but, you know, I don't think I've donated maybe once or twice on his live streams, but for the most part, it's like, yeah, dude, if I see him, like, what is it, like, I offer to translate for him. Like, I spent like fucking 30 minutes translating this fucking video the other day, and I don't even think he looked at the translation. I'm like, motherfucker, but it's like, you know, it's better than if I had paid him, you know? Like, I don't have a lot of free time, but I have enough free time where I can watch a video. And also, like, it's good for Japanese study, too, you know? Learning about subjects that I'm not really 100% interested in, you know? But, anyway, yeah. Big shout out to all of you guys who do that, and also all of you guys who do super chats and become members as well, man. Like, you guys just kick fucking ass. Speaking of which, big shout out to the super chat guy of the week, boom. Yes. Big shout out and thank you to Mr. Giant Cock over here for helping me out. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys want your name in the videos, all you got to do is become a member on Patreon or on YouTube, and then I include your guys' names at the end of these videos. So it's pretty badass. I appreciate it. You know, it's cool. I've got like this, I love ChatGPT, dude. Like, I just get ChatGPT, and I'm just like, hey, this is the list of people from last month. This is the list from people this month. Just, you know, like, just copy, you know, take out the old names, put in the new names or whatever, and organize them alphabetically or whatever. And it's like, yes, sir, right on top of it, sir. Yes, good deed. And I know it's so fucking, oh god, dude. Like, I'm getting my money's worth of ChatGPT, and because I pay for the $30 a month thing or whatever. And I don't even use Google anymore. I use ChatGPT for everything. Like, and it's so cool too, dude. Like, what I'll do is, like, for example, I wanted to know about my motorcycle and learn more about like what needs repair and like how you repair it and stuff. And I know that it's not 100% right all the time, but the cool thing is like I'm like, okay, so like give me a list of all the parts in my motorcycle, but differentiate them by category. So like, for example, like engine and powertrain or whatever, and then like brake system, fluid system or something, and like tires, whatever. And it's like, yeah, so very well, sir, good job. And so I'm like, okay, cool, this works awesome, yes. And then I was like, okay, that's a good list, but now make it into like diagrams and pictures, and like and show me what like what does the engine look like when you break it apart and stuff, and then explain like what each part is. And it's like, very good, sir, yes. And that's funny. It's good shit, man. I don't know, it's nice, it's fun, and it is mayhem. So that's been fun. Yeah, shit. I watched, what movie did I watch? I've been trying to watch movies before I go to bed as a way to calm down and cool down. And I like putting it in my journal, too, being like, yeah, watch this movie. It's pretty cool. I watched, and I keep track, and not only just in the journal, but I like keeping track of these also in the Discord, too. Like, if you become a patron or a Twitch subscriber, I have a section called the Man Cave. And, I just post like personal stuff there, like like more kind of like random shit that's on my mind, kind of thing. And it's cool. It's cool. And one of the things that I post is like I made a thread now, which is for, what is it for? It's for like all the movies that I'm watching. So each time I watch a movie, because I've been watching mostly like 90s movies recently and 80s movies, so I'll find the Japanese VHS cover and then I'll just like post that in there, just to keep track, it's fun. And also, like, it gives me a chance, especially if it's like a newer film, like the Judge Dredd movie or whatever, I can be like, oh, okay, what did that look like? Okay, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, let's check that out. And then I can see what the Blu-ray cover looked like and all this shit. It's cool, and it is mayhem. So, what else is on with me? Yeah, so that was fun. I watched that movie. This movie, I'd seen the VHS cover for it so many times, but I never actually watched it. And I thought for some, I was, like when you see a movie, like a movie cover or whatever, and you're like, wow, like that, okay, cool, I kind of get the gist of it. But then you don't realize, like, there's a big part of the story that you didn't even remember, or maybe it wasn't even on the VHS cover. And, I saw the movie, The Virus, with Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm like, okay, I get it. It's like a somehow cyberpunky thing, and it's like an AI or like some kind of program infects humans or something, and it's kind of like a Borg situation from Star Trek going on. Okay, I can kind of follow, but I was watching that yesterday. And I was like, wait a second, like, I'm watching this movie or whatever with Jamie Lee Curtis, and like, I was like, okay, I kind of got the gist of it from the VHS cover, that it's like, yeah, it's that, right? Like, kind of like some, not Cronenberg, but yeah, something like that, AI computer takes over, infects people. But one big thing I didn't know about the movie is that it takes place entirely on a boat. Like, it's on a Russian warship that's been abandoned. And I was like, I don't remember seeing a warship at all. Or, like, I don't know, I gotta double check that VHS cover. But I was like, what? For some reason, I thought this took place on land. But it makes total sense why it takes place, in the ocean, right? Because it's like, oh, yeah, well, this is the place where, like, if there's an AI alien virus that infects a computer network, you want it to be isolated before it could like go out and infect the whole world, kind of thing, right? And so it makes sense, but it was one of those things where it's like I glanced at the cover and I didn't read it, or like I didn't read anything on the back, and I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of what is it, like the like Deep Rising, kind of, if you guys remember that movie. That movie, like, God, just 90s movies, they felt so much better. They just hit harder, Like they had, I was surprised because that Virus movie came out. God, when did that movie come out? I don't know, but like Jamie Lee Curtis is still like she looks like fairly like young, maybe after Trading Places kind of thing. But there's practical effects that are kind of like they seem pretty worn out. They're cool, but like you can obviously tell it's puppets and shit. But there's some CGI effects in that movie where I was like, holy fuck, like that's actually really good. When did this movie come out? And yeah, actually, here, let me bring up. I was asking ChatGPT about it, and like that's another great thing too about like the AI stuff is that you can just ask it questions about random stuff, and it'll like I was like, how old were these people when this movie was filmed and everything, and it gets all the information for you, so you don't need to do the math or anything. It makes it so like before, like when you have ADHD, ADHD, mental illness, when you have like I mean, to be fair, I don't think this is just an ADHD thing. I think like everybody, regular people have this issue too, where it's just like you're thinking of something, but the action of researching it is taking so long that you get distracted, and then you start doing something else. Yeah, that's like what ADHD shit is. But here, let me see. Virus movie overview. So when does the movie come out? So I was asking ChatGPT about this stuff, and I was like, don't spoil it for me. 1999. Oh, shit. Okay. For some reason I thought it came out earlier than that, but yeah, like they've got like Donald, Kiefer Sutherland's dad, Donald Sutherland or whatever, in there, and it's fucking cool. Yeah. So like on the cover, it's just Jamie Lee Curtis and William Baldwin, who I don't even remember I know that like Donnie Baldwin or something was in not Law and Order, Homicide something or whatever. But and I know Stephen Baldwin was in like Biodome, but I don't remember William Baldwin so much. He's not a bad actor in that movie, but it's just like you look at the VHS cover and there's no boat. There's no boat on any of it. Like it's just like okay, so there's just like the Earth and Jamie Lee Curtis and like like it looks like a cyborg or an android thing. So I'm like, wait, this whole movie takes place on a fucking ship? God damn it. But yeah, 1999, the CGI was really good. Like, surprisingly good. I was like, damn, like, that's smooth. Smooth as butter. Yeah. It's so funny, man. Like, I saw this, and also, like, because I watch YouTube shorts. I watch Instagram shorts sometimes. Like, when I want to take a break from the computer, like, and I've been sitting down too long. Like I make it a rule to get up at least once an hour because I know that well I mean I don't know but I heard that if you wait too long like if you're sitting down too long like it could like lead to blood clots or something, so like I don't want to chance that, so I always try to, if I'm gonna be at home or hell even if I was in an office or something, I want to like at least move around for a bit, but yeah, so I was sitting down, like, I was taking a break, just laying down on my bed, like, browsing my phone, and I saw this dad, and this dad was all pissed off because his kids were watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new movie, and there's a scene where they go to the school, and the school has, like, one of those poster boards, which is like, oh, hey, man, it's like, like Michelangelo signing up for an improv group or something. And they have like political stuff, chess club, and then they had like this gay and trans like thing or whatever, like go support the gay trans shit or something. And I don't know, man, like I know that like every generation is different or whatever, but I still think like everything is still relatively like it changes, but it doesn't change so drastically that everything changed, right? Like I remember like seeing Louis C.K. For his TV show, and like the parents are all complaining that like about the school and all this in general stuff, and it's like, dude, like like he tries to explain to the parents, he's like, don't you guys remember being kids? Like school sucks, school's not that fun. It's like it's never gonna be fun, like unless you get like individual like very expensive charter school type shit. It's never gonna be like a super fun thing to do, dude. So but anyway, this dad was like, he's watching it on a projector too. I'm like, why? And he's like, look at this LGBT stuff. They've got the trans flag on there and all this bullshit. And he's like, I immediately Like, cause he's like, I like to screen the movies that my kids watch before I let them watch it, and I'm like, okay, I can get that, I can get that. Like, when I was younger, I loved to watch like martial arts movies, but sometimes they had like sex or like grotesque murders in them or something. So, like, I had a babysitter that loved martial arts movies too, so he would always check out the movie before and watch it and then tell my mom like if it was good enough or whatever, because sometimes rated R movies are not really that bad, like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, right? Like it's only bad because at the end, like, he says fuck 500 times or whatever, right? Like, but the whole movie's pretty much PG. And so like for stuff like that, like, yeah, of course. But like, this dad's all freaking out, and like, look, I don't like how the gay stuff is promoted so heavily in schools when it's only 1%. And this is coming from a guy who's had a gay trans. I've had a gay roommate and a trans roommate. Like, how progressive am I? You know, both of my godparents are gay. I grew up around gay people. You know, I have no problem with gay people or trans people, but it's just like one of those things where it's like I really don't like. I think that if it's only 1% of the population that is like that, they shouldn't be oppressed, but at the same time, kids shouldn't be forced to learn about this in school. I think that, and it's like, well, some parents are not good at teaching their kids, and I'm like, yeah, but still, anytime when it comes to sex or sexual orientation, you don't get the kids involved with it at school. Like, that's a parent's job or whatever, right? And so, at the same time, though, you know, again, like, I only can speak from my experience of Japanese students, right? But take in mind, I do teach kids that go to international school here, right? So it's somewhat similar to America. And these kids, like, they're not stupid, you know? Like, some of them are stupid, and they'll fall into line like sheep. But a lot of students, like, they realize it's fake, and it's, you know, pun intended, gay. You know, it's like, it's fake and gay. Like, so if you post something on a wall like LGBT or trans stuff, like sure, there's some kids that are gonna be like, oh man, yeah, wow, but like most students don't give a shit. Like, most students are actually, with the younger generation, I feel like there's more based young people that get it versus not. I mean, like, these are kids that were born with iPhones in their hands, right? Like, they've been they've been able to Google stuff as quick as possible, you know, way quicker than whatever we used to do. And like, dude, like, fuck, I remember being like fucking like in 7th grade and looking up porn on like my mom's computer on the internet, you know? Like, come on, like, this isn't like, you know, kids doing bad boy stuff is not like a new concept, you know? But I mean, like, we're being worried that your kids are being indoctrinated because they're watching a new, like, a movie or whatever, where it's like that's only like 1 split second of the movie. Like, look, and this is, again, like, I'm trying to make the point that it's like, I don't think there should be gay shit in schools. Like, no, like, a school shit, it's just the same thing as like, there shouldn't be gay shit at your work, right? Like, you know, you come to work, you do your job, and you're your own person outside of work. You don't bring your individuality to some place unless, like, your whole thing is like doing that, but that should never be part of any system, right? But yeah, like, so like, I'm with the dad on that, but at the same time, that movie was really good, you know? Like, I watched it the first time and I was like, oh, I don't like how like the bad guys all become friends. Like, spoiler alert, by the way, guys. It's a fucking kids movie, you know. Like, it's not. You don't need a spoiler alert for kids. But like the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, the Jackie Chan and fat black lesbian April and Seth Rogen. You know, for that movie, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, you know, like, the only thing I didn't really like is the ending is like all the bad guys become good, which basically means there's no sequel. If you made all the bad guys good, which are supposed to be individual bad guys you meet once like, you know, every once in a while, then you're gonna have like 20 good guys versus 1 bad guy in the future. And how the hell does that work? So, like, they were basically doing that, in my opinion. I mean, I like the story. I like the overall message of the movie, and I think the animation was fucking great. I really liked, like, I thought the message behind the movie was good. And I think also you see a movie for what it is when you watch it in another language. And I really liked how they made, because like, you know, I grew up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where they all sound like 30-year-olds and they're all like very mature to an extent, right? And they've got like very corny, cheesy people that they fight, and April O'Neil's hot and she's got like ass and titties. And but the new one isn't bad. Like, you know, now reflecting on it, and like, this isn't dad like succumbing to woke shit or whatever. Like, just watching the movie in Japanese, where there's no like, because I have like preconceptions of the movie in English because I can't not compare it to the Turtles that I grew up with, right? Now let me drink this for a second. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Pure like the cocaine. But, like, you know, like in the movie, though, like, I like it, you know? Like, April is not this attractive woman. Like, she's not... Because, like, April's... When you meet her in the first movie, or, like, even in the first show, like, she's very confident. She's very sexy. And the April O'Neil in this one, like, she's got a good heart. She's brave, but like she's got social anxiety and she's fat and she's like an underdog. If you think about this, like, you take away all the woke shit that has happened in the news and how they tried to grift off woke shit and just see the movie from like a 90s movie point of view, like, you know, like, again, like, unplug all the stuff from the news and everything and being angry on Twitter and shit. If you see the movie for what it is, it's cool, you know, like all these kids, like they like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles learn karate from like kung fu, which are like from kung fu movies and martial arts movies and YouTube, which makes more sense now that you think about it. Like, I mean, like for today, like that's, I still like the original story about how like Splinter was a ninja who ran away from Japan or whatever, but I'm okay with this story too, like this version of the story. I mean, like, I don't want it to be the main one, but I'm okay with this being, like, an alternate universe kind of thing, right? It's like, yeah, it's cool, you know? And also, the Turtles, they talk like teenagers. They're teenagers. They're young, they're unsure of themselves, but since they're mutants, they've got super strength or whatever, and they've been training for a while. Like, that's all they do. And so, like, when they do their first fight, they're really nervous, but then they get, you know, but then they get confident and shit. And like all these guys do at the beginning is like they decide they want to help people, or they want to like help fight the bad guy, not because they're heroes and they're altruistic or whatever you want to call it. No, it's just like they want to, like, they watch human TV and stuff, and they want humans to like them, and they're afraid humans won't like them. So they think that if they do heroic shit, people will like them. And I really like it how, like, the message at the end of the movie is that, like, no, like, you do the good thing even when you're not going to get any credit or reward for it, just because that's what you do. That's what good people do. You don't do it because you want credit. You do it because it's right. And I really love that message. And then also, like, Splinter too. Like, you have these two dads in the movie, and they're both similar. But one is, like, passive and one is, like, active, you know? Like, Splinter just wants his kids to, like, they've both had bad interactions with humans. And so Splinter just wants to keep his kids isolated and just not deal with the world, right? And, like, Superfly, like, the main villain, like, he has these, like, brothers and sisters or whatever, right? Like, he has his own family that he's raised. But he doesn't want to live in fear. So for him, it's, like, killing all the humans is the thing to do to ensure that his family will be safe, and that, like, that's how he feels proactive about it. And at the end, you see, like, Splinter seeing how this guy is reacting, and he's like, "Why don't you understand? I'm doing this for you." And Splinter's like, "Holy shit! Like, this guy's me. I've been trying to keep my kids like under lock because I was afraid of what the world would do to him." And he's like, shit, like, you know, if you're a good parent, you got to support your kids and let them make mistakes. And it's like, it's a, you know, I don't know, I like that message because it's like, you think of all these idiots that are like, oh man, like, you know, why would I bring a child into this world? This world's already overly populated. And it's like, no, you bring kids into this world, even if it is a dangerous place, even if it can be a shitty place at times, because it's like, you know, that's there's like one of the few joys that I think is like a privilege in this life is that you get to become a parent, right? Like you actually get to be in charge of a little person, and you're 100% in charge. You got to make sure they don't die. You got to feed them, and you gotta help raise them, And like some people, they get just thrown into it, like both of the parents in this movie, and like it's there's different ways people can raise their kids, and it's I don't know. It's like the same thing with the Barbie movie too, like people were like Demi Spy Meow. He's probably in the chat. I remember he like when the Barbie movie came out, I was skeptical too, but I went in with like an open mind and shit. And I remember Demi came into the live stream when that happened. And he's like, "Yeah, stupid woke Barbie movie bullshit." And I was like, "Did you watch the movie yet?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Watch the movie. It's pretty good." Like I was surprised with the Barbie movie, and this was before they were even making memes about it yet. And I was like, "Oh wow, it's making fun of both sides. It's making fun of like the super hyper alpha guys, and it's making fun of the super feminist, like we don't need men side. Like it's making fun of them both." And I'm like, "Holy shit, this movie's like for grounded people that aren't choosing either side. They just want to live, I'm like, "Oh wow, like what a great message, like holy shit." And so I don't know, man, like I just I feel like when shit like this comes out, it's like you don't ever want to, I mean, like I understand tribalism and stuff, and like you don't want to just automatically give in to stuff or whatever because you want your side to be right, but like you got to remember you're an individual. You got to keep an open mind about this shit. And it reminds me of The Game with like Neil Strauss and Ross Jeffries and everything. I forgot who he was having a problem with, but if you guys ever read The Game, maybe you can remind me. But there's like a point in the movie, or not in the movie, in the story of The Game with Neil Strauss, the pickup artist book, where there's like Neil Strauss is this guy who's befriending all these really famous pickup artists around the world, right? And some of them are rivals and they don't like each other. And so, but Neil Strauss is like capybara. He's cool with everybody. And so they're like, "Oh, hey, like this, one of the guys that he's been interviewing or whatever, he's like, yeah, like I see that you're friends with this one guy, and like he's my rival and he talks shit about me." And like Neil's like, "Well, yeah, dude. Like, well, you talk shit about him too, man. Like, you guys both talk shit about each other." And the guy's like, "You need to stop being friends with him, because he's talked shit about me, and like he's not a good guy." And Neil's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna pick sides. Like, like if you don't want to be friends with me, that sucks. But like, I'm not gonna choose one or the other, man. Like, I'm me. I'm not like saying either one of you guys is 100% right, but." At the same time, like, I'm not gonna choose sides either. Like, like that's the kind of guy I am. I feel like me too. It's just like I don't like mentally ill people that are grifters that just want to cause chaos for the sake of attention getting, right? And I think that's the same for most logical people, right? But I don't know. I just the same thing. You got to keep an open mind about this stuff. I was talking about the movie of Jamie Lee Curtis virus. I mean, it's so funny too because Jamie Lee Curtis, she's like super woke now. Her son is trans or something, and like she's she was this woman that wasn't like I don't think she was super. I don't know if she was ever political, but like she's just this woman, and now she's all super woke in like shitty Borderlands movies or whatever. I mean, she's 60, she's all fat and stuff now, but. I don't know, man. Like, she's still a good actress. Like, you guys saw that episode of her on The Bear where, like, she's cooking and stuff, and, yeah, I don't know. That's, like, another thing, too. Like, I was talking to my buddy back home, and he's got a good job, he's been a survivor like me, he's always had a job. He's never been unemployed. He takes care of himself, but he's also in, like, small town America. Like, and so he's, he was messaging me the other day, and he's like, "I don't know, man, I just feel off. I just feel like, Like, all this shit I'm doing, it doesn't matter or something. I don't know why. I'm just not feeling anything. And I was like, I wanted to tell him, I'm like, dude, sometimes this shit happens, man. Like, sometimes, like, you'll feel bad for no reason, but you got to remember that it's like, it's so funny because I'm going to bring up Swimmer Nick. I noticed I bring up Oriental Pearl and Swimmer Nick a lot in these things, but I think it's, if it's relatable to the topic that I'm talking about, and you guys, like, it's other YouTubers, then fuck it, right? But, I was, Swimmer Nick was talking about how he has, like, a new job where he's going to have to go to some, like, physical boot camp or something. And I think he's joining the CIA. I think that he's becoming an asset. He's becoming a John Wick. But he made up a great point how he's like, boot camp sucks and they're going to keep you awake and everything's going to be horrible. But the thing about all that is that, you're going to... He's like, they can stop, or like they can fuck with you or whatever, right? But the thing is that, like, they can't fuck with time. Like, they can fuck with you, but they can't fuck with time. So, like, and boot camp's only for like a week or two, right? So if you're just like walking around and shit or whatever, right? Like, if you're just doing these exercises, they can't stop the time from happening. So it's like, it's gonna suck. It's not that good, but you'll get through it, Like, it's not like you won't be able to handle this, right? Like, this 1 week is gonna really suck, but that's the thing about life. You have ups and downs, right? Like, no matter what time it is, there's always gonna be ups and downs, but for every time that you're down, you're gonna be up, I would hope that there's more times up than down, but at the same time, it's just like, you gotta accept that sometimes stuff sucks, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna suck all the time. And I think that's very important to, like, remember, And so my buddy's also in, like, rural fucking town USA, right? Like, where everyone has to drive and there's not, like, a lot of places to congregate and stuff. And I was like, well, yeah, man, like, you gotta join, like, some kind of, like, hobby circle. Like, go join some yoga or whatever the fuck, right? Like, I was like, you're not Christian, so you're not gonna be in any church or whatever, but you gotta find some kind of community to be part of, man, And yeah, and so it's just like, and also, like, my buddy, he's a couple years older than me. And I was like, dude, like, why don't you try to start a family or something? Like, if you want to be a mature guy, in my opinion, you either buy a house, you start a company, or you get a family. And, like, only one of those things will love you. So, it's like, it's good to start a family. It's good to do this stuff. But then, like, I was even thinking last night, too, while I'm just, like, sitting down and it's all dark. I always have, like, this stupid fucking, like, pun intended, I always have these dark fucking ideas and stuff when it's dark outside. I don't like it, but it's like, one of the things is just like, yeah, well, what if you really want desperately to start a family, but you start it with the wrong woman? And it's like, yeah, that fucking sucks, but that's, like, even another reason why you should get married when you're younger, So if you fuck up, at least you got a second marriage to work on, and you already had the kids for one, Like, I know one guy, I won't say, I'll try to be vague about it, but I know one guy who was a, not a vlogger, but a blogger in Japan, and this guy was smart, man. I mean, he still is smart, but it's just like, and I worked with him for a little bit, but, like, this guy, he's, like, top of his class, England kind of, dude, and, I remember, like, we were friends on Facebook for a while, too, so even when he didn't live in Tokyo, like, I saw what was going on with him and stuff, and, like, he got married to some chick, like, he did, like, he came over here, he was an ALT for a while, and then he got a job as, like, a translator or something, and, he was a jet, so not like me, and I remember he got married to this chick, and he had a kid. And, like, I didn't really think much of it, but then I see his, like, an update or something on him, and, like, on Facebook, like, a couple years later, and the guy's like, it's just me and the girlfriend, we're going camping, and I'm like, oh, shit, the guy got divorced, and, like, the kid or whatever, and so, like, like, coincidentally, I forgot if I reached out to him or he reached out to me, But like I ended up talking to him, and I'm like, so that ended, and he's like, yeah, it ended. I'm like, do you get to see the kid at least? And he's like, nah, she hates me. He's like, I pay her, like I pay her like alimony every month, and she lets me see the kid for like a day or so, like a half day once per month. But yeah, and I'm like, dude, that fucking sucks, man. I'm sorry. And I was like, did you cheat on her or something? It's like, no, dude. It's just like I didn't impose too much, but he said that he didn't cheat on her or whatever, right? But yeah, I mean, but at least he has a kid, at least he had a kid, and he tries to take care of it. And it's like, I just think about how it's like, dude, if I have a kid now, by the time the kid's in college, I'll be 60. And I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, so it's like, for me, it's a little bit more intimidating because if I have a family and kids, like, I'm starting this late. I only get like one shot at this. So it's got to be slightly more perfect and planned out than if I was just like kind of shooting from my hip if I was in my 20s, right? And I know there's people that are like, well, hey man, like, there's some people that like I do generally think that it's better to date around and like, work on your communication, work on talking to people and stuff, right? Like it's way better to feel it out versus just jumping into the first big relationship and then getting married and having kids and buying all that stuff. I mean, like, you see guys in the military do that all the time, and then their wives end up cheating on them or whatever, right? So it's just it's a hard balancing act. It's like one of those things where it's like with people too, for me too, it's like I got trust issues, right? Like, I forgot what story it was. It's from like the 48 Laws of Power, right? But it's like the Greeks and the Athenians or something, or the Romans. It's like there's these two historical countries, right? There's country A and country B, and like country A saved country B's ass like 20 years ago, right? And so like country B has always had like a debt to pay to help them. That's like, oh man, like, you saved us, so we're gonna, we got your back whenever you need it, man, in the future. But, and so then finally, like 20 years later, like country A needs country B to get their back. But they haven't really done anything for country A, or country A has, or was it country B? Anyway, the point is the country that saved their ass before, they haven't done anything for them lately. And so when they ask for help, they're like, yeah, well, we could help you, but what have you done for us lately? We could help you, but that's going to, like, we're going to have to spend money and shit to save you and help your ass out and everything. And, like, that's going to take a while. So, like, like, fucking, what do we get out of this besides just repaying an obligation? Like, nah, man. Shit changes. Money talks kind of thing. And, yeah, it sucks, but, like, that's the way the world works, too. So I'm like, even if somebody's married, like, I think this is one thing that, like, a lot of young guys don't understand. They're like, I'm gonna just get a trad wife, and I'm gonna get a Christian wife, and she's gonna marry me, and I'm gonna be like, we're gonna be like, we're gonna have like sex for the first time with each other, and it's gonna be awkward, but like, we're gonna grow to love each other and everything. It's gonna be good. And I'm like, I think that might have worked before the internet, but now everybody has smartphones. All these young people are really insecure, and they're constantly seeing stuff to compare their own like boring lives to, and they think that's reality. And like, I feel like when you have something like that, the whole like, what do you call it, like fealty or whatever, like the whole obligation kind of way of thinking, it goes out the window, because too many people are distracted by people who are not fulfilling that kind of obligation, that are not doing that, they're not fulfilling that kind of role, And so I don't know, hoping that, like, your wife is like, yeah, I mean, like, the military guys, too, right? Like, they're all Christian and shit, and they're like, my wife will wait for me, and she'll wait for me until I get home. And it's like, yeah, well, if you're not there all the time to remind her and give her that sweet loving and give her those endorphin hits, like, what's the chances that she's really going to stick around kind of thing? And, like, that's a reality for, like, a lot of people, It's like, yeah, you got to fucking, that's the reality, that you got to be on your, like, what is it? You gotta be on your shit, on fleek. I wanted to say on fleek, but that's not it. But you gotta be on top of this stuff, right? And so it's like, if you're gonna have like a relationship with somebody, you gotta really, I don't know. Again, like, if you're gonna be an older guy, you gotta have on top of your shit. Like, I remember I saw this guy on YouTube, and he's in Japan, and he's complaining that like he went out all day and he's been working. He comes home and he says hi to the kids, and they didn't even say hi to him. And he speaks to them in English, and they're talking to him in Japanese, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, and I'm just seeing this as like I don't really know the guy that well, but he wasn't in Tokyo or whatever. But I was like, dude, like if you're not at home, and your wife doesn't speak that good of English, and the kids are at school all the time, they're not gonna know English, dude. Like, it's not that it's not like that crazy of a concept to think of, you know. Like this shit happens, right? So, and it's just like, oh, my kids don't respect me, and it's like, well, yeah, you never spend any time with them, dude. You're working too much or something, right? And so, I don't know. It's just like this thing where it's like people have this expectation that it's like, well, this is the right thing to do in my mind, and I'm like, just because you have like some kind of like moral, like stance on stuff, on the way the world is run, if you're not somebody that a person can respect, and they're not part of a system that kind of like propagates that or like reinforces that thought, they're not going to give a shit. They're going to think it's all fake and gay, and they're like, that's what kids do. They rebel, right? So I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, you got to adapt with the times, right? And yeah, it's just like I don't know. I again, it's one of those things where if you want to marry young, you got to be willing to learn a lot. You got to be able to communicate well. You've got to realize that sometimes, like, you got to think of the long game, right? It's like sometimes this chick won't want to have sex with you. You got to learn that sometimes it's just like she's in her moods or whatever. But again, it's just like about like forgiving. Being able to forgive people, being able to compromise, being able to understand that sometimes there's things that you won't understand, but you just got to kind of wait it out and just do you. And that's really hard for a lot of people, like especially like in Japan. Like sometimes people, if they have an issue, they don't want to talk about it. And like for me, I'm okay with that if I don't live with that person, If I live with that person and they're just still being an asshole, and it's hard for me to fucking like they won't explain what the hell's going on, and it's just like, dude, like what the fuck. And it's like, if I wasn't living with them, it's like, oh, it's fine, I'm like in my own space, I'm okay. But like if I'm with them in the same building, I'm like, fuck, I'm in this house with this person that's fucking pissed off at me, and I'm willing to figure out what the problem is, but they don't want to talk about it. And it's like, wait, so like you have two options: you just sit there and deal with it, or you go out and do something. And I'm like, well, I don't ever want to be in a position where I have to leave my own fucking space just because, like, I always find it so boggling when I see these guys who it's like, well, my wife's angry at me, she says she doesn't want me back at the house. And I'm like, it's your fucking house, dude. Like what kind of bullshit is that, where it's like, I don't want you to come home. And it's like, yeah, well, this is like, I don't know, that's the thing too. It's like some people will be like, well, it's an obligation. It's an obligation as a man that you do what's right for a woman. I'm like, well, she's got parents, she's got friends she could stay with. If she needs to be alone, she can go back to that place. Like she has an issue, and obviously she needs to go work on that. And I don't know, man. It's like, for me, that's the thing. It's like I can't. I don't like putting up with bullshit. I don't put up with bullshit from kids. I don't put up with bullshit from coworkers. It's just I don't know, man. Like you got to be a better person, I guess. And I'm not. I can't. It's hard for me to balance that out of just being like, okay, well, you're wrong, but that's fine. Like if it's with people I don't know, then that's totally okay because I don't give a shit about them. But if it's somebody I do care about, but they're acting all shitty, I don't like that. But what are you gonna do, right? Oh, my dick. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I've been watching while I've been talking to you guys, I've been watching Castlevania Rondo of Blood. And I realize I watch a lot of like long plays of videos in Super Nintendo, but I rarely watch long plays for like TurboGrafx. And I'm like, shit, TurboGrafx was like PlayStation before PlayStation had like the 3D stuff, It was basically like a souped up Super Nintendo, right? Like it had more memory, you could do more shit, cooler animations and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, man, this game looks hard but fun. It was one of those games where you have to try really hard You know, you got to remember all these like secrets and shit, like a Metroidvania. It's just, you know, like when I play games, I just want to get through it. If I'm just playing for the sake of playing, right? Like we were playing Donkey Kong and stuff and everything for the live stream, and I'm just like, I just want to get through it. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. This is my. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't even know what I'm gonna label this as later for the thumbnail. But yeah, guys, thanks always for listening to these rants and everything. I don't know what are your thoughts on the movie Virus and all that shit, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff, all the shit that we talked about for woke stuff. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, because yeah, I mean, like, I know that I gotta mix this up, right? I gotta go out and do bike rants, do the motorcycle rants, do the walking rants, do all this stuff. And you know, the thing is that I like the fact, like, I always try to emphasize that I really like the fact that YouTube lets me express my quote unquote creativity for all this shit, right? Like, I get to say to all these people, like, yeah, I'm doing the thing, yeah, but I also like the fact that YouTube's like, look, it's a system here, and we're not going to tell you directly, but there are ways to make more people check your stuff out. And that's another thing too, man. Like, I was watching like Softy Papa earlier, and he's like, I'm getting older, and mental and physical decline is very much a thing. And I'm like, you know, I don't believe in the 100% of the manifestation shit, but I do believe more about, like, if you keep talking about negative shit, you're gonna just keep thinking about negative shit. Like, you need to side on, even if things are looking bad, it's way better to be optimistic and positive about these things versus just I think there's a difference between being like a realist and a surrealist, if that makes sense. But yeah, you know, it's just you know what I mean, guys? It's different. But I think it's way better to be positive and think about this shit as like, okay, well, it can get better, right? Like, it can always get better. Like, until, like, I was thinking about, like, what's an ultimate punishment you could do to somebody? And people always think it's like, oh, you could just kill them or whatever, right? But it's like, no. Like, killing is just, like, releasing that person from their mortal coil. And I was just thinking, like, randomly, like, I saw this thing on Twitter that really pissed me off, like something in the UK, I think it was, and I was just thinking about, like, what's the ultimate punishment? It's like, well, you could do the medieval torture thing, but even then they'll die pretty quickly. And it's like, oh, and then I thought of, like, Inuyashiki, how in the anime, or I guess manga or whatever, Inuyashiki, the same manga that's made by the guy who made Gantz. In that one, like, this old guy gets, like, all these cyborg powers to him, and one of the powers is that, like, he has, like, a laser, like a bunch of lasers that can be redirected and stuff. And so he finds this, like, Yakuza organization that, like, kidnaps women and then gets them hooked on meth, and then, like, and either kills them or, like, prostitutes them out or whatever. And so he finds them, and of course they try to shoot him and kill him, but they, you know, he's a cyborg, they can't do anything. And so he releases his lasers, and he shoots them all in the neck or something, and so they all get paralyzed from the neck down, but also he makes them all deaf and blind. So it's like, holy shit, dude. Like, if there's no, like, I forgot what the quote was. Maybe he didn't say this, but it's like, if there, you know, there's no guarantee that there's a hell. So just in case, I'm gonna do this to you. It's like, oh man, imagine that. Like, you go from, like, having all this power to being completely just, like, you can never interact with anything again. You can't hear anything. You can't, like, I mean, all you have is your touch and smell. You're like a paralyzed Helen Keller pretty much. And it's like, god damn, dude. Like, that's fuck, dude. Like, you'd have to find some very woke leftist people to be like, oh man, I'm gonna rehabilitate these guys. They're like, nah, dude, they're done. They're, as the young people say, they're cooked. And I don't know. I was just like, damn, like, that seems adequate. But then that, because it's either somebody comes and helps them, they get put into, like, some, like, facility somewhere, or they just stay somewhere until they can't move and they just die from starvation or dehydration. But I don't know. That's just I think but I mean, you know, I'm a strong believer that if anybody does something horrible, they should just, it's like hard labor camp. You could do 10 years of hard labor camp, and if you survive or whatever, that's fine. If you don't, organ donor, you know, you just like, yeah, like some people, they're just unforgivable, you know, but anyway, that's another talk for another time. Anyway, if you guys liked this video, if you liked the podcast, you like what we talked about, show me that you liked it by smashing the like button and leave a comment. I guess the comment of the, you know, I didn't have a comment of the day before, but I guess, you know, tell me if there's any movie from 1999 that you liked. Write it down in the comments down below to show me that you made it this far. And I'll probably do a live stream after this too, so I'll see you guys for the live stream. And yeah, thanks again for watching the premiere. Thanks again for watching this, even if you aren't here from the premiere. And I'll talk to you guys when I talk to you. Okay, talk to you later. Kisses.